Good morning, all. Good morning, all. Oh, my voice is. Om Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jatah Patirek Asit Sadadhar Prithvim Dyamute Mam Kasmai Devaya Havishavidhim. Let us join our hands to pray to the creator of all the luminous bodies like sun and master of universe who existed before creation. With this prayer, इस प्रार्थना के साथ let us begin our session today. We have very renowned personality, renowned speaker with us. So I would like to invite Professor Dr. Pankaj to welcome her and to give us blessings with a mantra. Over to Madan sir.
नमस्ते स्वः तत्सावित्रवरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. Hearty welcome, Professor Sharma from Jammu University. I welcome to all the participants to the last day of this FDP. So, before elaborating upon our renowned Professor Alka, I may take up the shlok as defined in the program. I am taking today a shloka from Bhagavad Gita, which says, Deva na bhavayata nen te deva bhavayantu va parasparam bhavayanta shreshya parmavatsya tha. By virtue of the position and the endowment of the resources that a leader can command, it is blindfolds them to the need to understand importance of the mutual dependence and to motivate the team, the group around you, so that the changes can be implemented. So with this shloka, I welcome all of you again to this program. Now, I would request the scholar to please introduce our today's first speaker, Professor Alka Sharma.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing me this opportunity to introduce our eminent speaker. A very good morning to respected faculty members and dear participants. I welcome you all on this last day of FDP, and it's my honor to introduce our eminent speaker, Dr. Alka Sharma. She is a professor at the Business School, University of Jammu, Jammu and Kashmir, India. In her distinguished professional career of 28 years, she has earned a remarkable name for herself in teaching, research, and administration. She has teaching and research interest in the area of marketing management, marketing of services, consumer behavior, and digital marketing. She has published quality research papers, books, and various and also supervised research at the doctoral level. She has to credit on various UGC-sponsored research projects along with J&K state-funded consultancies and various funded projects. Professor Alka is member of various academic and administrative boards and committees at national and as well as international level. She is a member UGC committee for reviewing deemed to be universities, visitors nominee to the Court of Central University of Jammu, expert member of Commission of Scientific and Technical Terminology, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Director Seminars, Indian Institute of Public Administration, J&K branch, Member Academic Council, Islamic University of Science and Technology, Avantipura, Kashmir, Member of the Academic Council, University of Jammu. Her concerned effort in placement contributed towards the business school earning the ranking among the top 10 university business schools in India, as well as being included among the A category B schools. She has also earned a prestigious award of Indra Parikh Award for Top 50 Women in Education Leaders by World Education Congress in 2019. Today, she delivered her lecture on developing highly effective teachers, measuring and shaping. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Pankaj sir and dear colleagues. It is indeed a pleasure to be invited for this particular FTP program, and I was given a very interesting topic by Dr. Madan when he said that you have to talk about developing effective teachers. I'm sure you all are teachers and you all have your own ideas. So please bear with me. It is just understanding which I have developed over some years since I started teaching, and things have changed and they are changing more dynamically. So probably congratulations, Pankaj sir, for identifying a very relevant topic, and thank you again for giving me this opportunity to deliberate upon a topic.
Most welcome, sir. Most welcome. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I would like to start with my presentation. Is the presentation being shared? Can I?
Yeah. Ma'am, you have to share from your side. Click on the share button.
No. I'm using two systems. That would be a problem. I was thinking
Okay,
you will
okay.
be sharing. Can you
Okay,
share?
I will share from my side, ma'am.
Please, aap share kijiye.
Okay.
That is why we had a word yesterday, because I am in my office today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Please. So I would request all the participants to please come out with your opinions, your views, because we all are faculty members, and we look at it as a two-way process of learning for me also. What I am going to discuss today, it's into two parts. The first part is about the presentation, and the second part will be a small exercise which you will have to do. So maybe that would give us a better idea about what I am teaching or what I am telling you about today. So my topic is developing highly effective teachers, how to measure our own teaching, and how we can shape ourselves to be better teachers. The next one, Suyash, please. The next slide. Yeah. So let us start with building a context. That what is the context today? You all must have been aware about the national education policy and the debate going around it, that it is to be implemented and what changes. Everybody's talking about it. The entire education from primary to higher education is going to undergo a change. So the environment in which we are probably discussing this topic, it is changing very fast. And it is not only the change, but probably we are trying to be in sync with the rest of the world and ensure that whatever changes we are doing, the student who goes out through this process is actually competitive enough to be in the world market. So this is probably one key objective that this new education policy had, and we have to now implement it. The second context, if we look at, is better communication with stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sure you all would agree that if you compare your today as a teacher and you as a student, communication has changed a lot between a student and a faculty. Earlier, we used to be, in that mode of being a teacher, an elder. Now the student is more aware, and we believe that every time when a teacher is going to a class, he has to communicate with stakeholders not only within the class, but outside also. Let's take a very recent example of online education. Online education is actually making us interact with not only within the class, the internal environment has gone very wide now. So therefore, the communication has changed. It has become more effective. People are putting a lot of emphasis. And therefore, this is the second key component of the context we are talking. The third one is engaging. How to engage a student. It is becoming a very, very critical thing. Now, let's take again an example that if we look at that, how you should ensure that a student is coming to your class. Why is it important? We will discuss that in the next slide further, but just to give you an example, that when we say that, it's an optional subject and your capability as a teacher is judged by how many people are taking your subject. Now, that is something which is dependent upon how well you are able to engage your student. Next one is behavior. Teacher is supposed to be a behavioral scientist within a class and adapt his mode of teaching as per the student. This is something which is really picking up very well. Why? Because now a student, if he is not learning, it is not entirely his fault. To some account, teacher is also responsible. So behavior analysis and adaptation by a teacher is becoming critical. The next one is better harmony with internal environment. Now you cannot do it like this कि आपकी क्लास में बच्चे नहीं आए तो कोई बात नहीं, या क्लास में क्या हो रहा है. No, it is not like that. Now you are being accountable, and that accountability is next one. Next one. Yes, yeah. So how many people believe that teaching is equal to learning of students? Can I get some response from you people? Is teaching is equal to learning of students? How many of you?
Yes, madam. Yeah,
Yes,
we are learning along with the students also.
Yes. So look at this. The paradigm is now changing.
Yes.
Earlier, we used to believe that teacher is one who teaches. But now, the teacher is also learning when he's going into a class. Is it right? Is it right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So maybe we can go to the next slide. We will deliberate more about it. The next one. Why what I said just in the previous slide, why is it true? Because if your student is not learning, you are not teaching. This is the equation now. Earlier, if the student is learning or he's not learning, that was not a function of your teaching. What is happening now, that if your student is not learning, you are not teaching. And a lot of research has gone into it that says that if the professors are investing, say, 2 hours of time in preparing his or her session, is it leading to an equal amount of student learning also? So, no, it is not. Where is the difference? The difference is probably into the teaching mechanics, which we use in our routine. For example, how many of us have an objective that I will make it clear to every student in a class and clear every doubt that any student has in my class? Actually not possible. And how are we taking a class? For example, I'm going through this presentation mode. I'm going through, a class lecture basis. So you are focusing on what? You are focusing on covering the topic, right? Because you have prepared that. How many of us are really bothered कि हम किस पेस पे कवर कर रहे हैं और क्या Is it that our student is also understanding what I'm trying to tell him? Is the communication input is equal to the output? Probably. We need to know about that. The next slide, please. Yes, the next one.
We are
Yeah. See, I'm sure you all are going through the slide and you can tell me how many of us agree to it that if I am teaching, what is my focus? What do I want to teach? How will I cover the course material? कि मुझे कितने सेशंस में अपना सिलेबस खत्म करना? Is it right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, the teacher has been trained to deliver instructions. And when he goes into a class, it is an assumption that he or she is transferring knowledge to students. And on the basis of that, a teacher classifies the students into various categories कि ये bright है, ये average है, ये below average. Or it can vary from person to person also. Is it right? We are believing that what inputs a teacher is using and what resources teacher is using to conduct a class. For example, am I using audio visual aids? Am I using technology? Am I consulting too many books? How many papers I have read before going into a class? That would tell me
Madam, we are not able to hear you.
sound नहीं आ रहा.
but your voice is very clear. Hello?
Now you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. So we were talking about assumptions about teachers. We believe that any expert can teach. Anybody who knows a subject a bit is capable of teaching. How many of us agree to it that yes, it is true? Do you think that this is true?
Oh, madam.
No, it is
No,
not.
no, madam.
So what is happening now? The focus is now going to outcome-based learning. Outcome-based learning. I'm sure you all are aware about it. So outcome-based learning, it is student-centric. So the focus has shifted now and the focus is learning. What and how the student needs to learn. So it's not that what I'm telling is enough, but how the student should learn it is more critical. More critical. For example, I am a teacher of marketing, right? I want my student to understand the concept of marketing or sales. So how do I make him or her understand? A very common problem which we face in sales is that people are not interested in the profession of sales, right? But majority jobs are in sales, so people opt this subject. Now, how do you make it interesting that a student feels that, yes, it needs to be learned, right? So this is something where orientation is now changing. And how can we accomplish these specific objectives which we create for our project? We will discuss that later, but learning focus is now creating objectives for your class and ensuring that what mechanism you would use to help the student achieve those objectives. Teacher's role has changed. Now you don't have to deliver instruction. You have to ensure that a student is learning, that a student is constructing the knowledge himself and develop the competencies and talent in a student to help him understand what he is good at. This is a teacher's role now. So now you are going into a specific role of a leader where you are trying to create an environment in which a student would be put in and he or she will be able to develop his or her competencies to the fullest. What is your success criteria? How the student performs. Learning and student success outcomes. I'm sure you all know what is NAC and NIRF ranking. है ना? आप सब लोगों की universities या colleges, they are into it. Now, you know what is the criteria there? One of the key criteria that is being used by NIRF and NAC is that what is the progression of your student? How your student is growing, not only during the 2 years or 1 year when he's with you, but after that also. Because they believe that what a student learned with you, he or she is going to use it later on in the life. So that is something where we are talking about his performance or the student's success outcomes. So, for example, your students have gone international, you get a higher ranking. Your student has been placed well in a company, again, another higher ranking. So, these are the criteria on which you are being evaluated. Your organization is being evaluated as a successful organization. Now, I always believed that teaching is something which is a lot of art and some science. Right? Whatever subject you are teaching. आप मैनेजमेंट पढ़ा रहे हैं तब तो बिल्कुल सही है, लेकिन अगर आप हिंदी भी पढ़ा रहे हैं तब भी यही सही है कि teaching is not that you go read and come back and tell your student what you have read and then that is all. No, teaching is never that. I was listening to the Prime Minister's speech a few days back where he was talking about primary education. And he was saying, learn to know, right? And this is where हम लोग रट्टे वाली टीचिंग करते थे ना छोटी क्लासेस में. उन्होंने बोला कि एक लेवल तक आपको लर्न करना पड़ेगा to understand. But after some time, understand to learn. Right? So knowledge is a circle wherein both the things are required. You should retain it also. And who helps you to retain? A teacher. How good you are in a class, how you are sharing your information or knowledge, that is a complex process. And teacher should be going for a training again and again and again to come out with the latest technologies. Otherwise, we will be obsolete. So teaching is a complex process and requires not only considerable, but continuous training. The next one, Suyash. I attended a conference last year wherein they were talking about the future of education and student. In that, they were talking about what would happen in 21st century after 2030. And one of the finding was that what jobs are today, these jobs will not be existing. You cannot even comprehend कि क्या jobs होंगे 2030 में या 2035 में. This is what the experts were talking. And if you do not know what are the competencies or skills or the knowledge levels required, so what should you focus upon then for it? So our work is to prepare a student. And if we do not know what is expected of him, then we should make a student so competent that he is able to adapt. And for that, some competencies are required. For example, mastery of challenging content. You should ensure that a student is competent enough to think critically, solve a problem, and has a capacity to take a challenge and capable of coming out of that challenge in a very successful manner. And for that, we need only 3 things: communication, collaboration, and self-direction. Communication, to tell or to discuss or to exhibit your knowledge, your understanding. And if you have effective communication, you are able to work as a team. Individual working is going to go for an end. I am sure we all believe that पहले research papers individual होते थे. आजकल 2 या 3 लोग काम करते हैं. Because now we are looking at collaborations, interdisciplinary. And that is where collaboration is coming in. And for that, you need to know where you want to reach. Your student should understand what is the direction for him, and if he is able to go into that direction, certainly he will be able to succeed in a whatever level of difficulty environment he will be able to get with it. The next one, Suyash. These are some of the definitions of effectiveness, and I am talking about them with reference to teaching in the classroom. Right? You may agree to it. You may believe that it needs more addition, but these are very theoretical things. But yes, they are very interesting to learn. Right? For example, the first one talks about observable behavior. Right? If you are able to identify the behaviors in your class, right, and ensure able to interpret those behaviors, you are going to be an effective teacher. Right? So the first one is a very operative one, right? The second one is a more value-added one. It says that if you are able to ensure an improvement in students' scores or the baseline measure of students' prior attainment and the teacher's effect is identified, right? However, I believe that marks is not the only criteria. There are more things to it. So let's go to the next one. Where's the next one? Yeah. This is a narrower definition which talks about students' performance vis-a-vis your method of teaching or your expectations, how you organize your class, and what resources you use. This is a very narrow one. However, the next one, it is talking about too many things. For example, your behavior in a class as a teacher, your competence. The students perceive you to be a good teacher or not is a function of these two. What is the student's learning experience? To create that environment that student's learning enhances or his experience is better. What are the outcomes? Is the student getting a better return? How well the teacher is trained, right? Internal teaching context and individual student characteristics. It is a very, very broad one, and all these factors are beyond the classroom processes, but they do have an impact on your measurement as an effective teacher, right? The next one is, please keep this definition in mind when I go to the next one, right? So, differentiated teacher. For example, we are talking about subject. If you have been teaching one subject for a very long time, right, you are considered to be a master. And, this is something which is becoming, which kind of becomes your identity. But the best part in this case is that student is not able to differentiate. However, the working environment, non-instructional, instructional roles that you perform, that help you to differentiate as a teacher. And if you are teaching too many subjects, then yes, student gets a better opportunity to interact with you on different modes or different levels. And that is something. I remember we had an elder colleague of ours. He used to teach only 2 subjects: legal framework of business and one more subject in finance, institutions and financial institutions. So he was so good in it. Every time he would come in a class, he would start and he would make it feel like a story, right? Because he had a lot of experience in it, and everybody perceived him to be a very, very good teacher. However, once, no, this is our problem. Once somebody went to him for financial management and said, "I'm not understanding this." He made him understand that topic like nobody had ever taught us financial management. I'm talking about my days as a teacher. That day, the respect for Sir went much, much notches higher because he came out to be a differentiated teacher. कि ये दो सब्जेक्ट ही जो सर पढ़ाते हैं ये नहीं इनसे कुछ भी बात करो जाके you get the best advice. So that is a differentiated teacher, and that was as effectiveness, right? Total teacher effectiveness is something. The 9 components we discussed in definition 4. For example, your behavior, learning experience, student behavior, learning outcomes, and teacher evaluation and professional development. We all know that teacher evaluation is coming up to be a very, very big factor now in the new education policy and in the quality initiatives by universities. Therefore, total teacher effectiveness is something which is now, say you are a very good teacher, but you come to class every day 20 minutes late. Student will tell us, student जब आपको evaluate करेगा वो बताएगा कि content okay, but when it is punctuality, the person scores lesser. Your overall effectiveness goes down. So we need to go into other aspects also besides teaching. So this is the context for an effective teacher. And now let's go to a general profile. And I hope you all will get back to me that whether you agree to this profile or not. The next slide, Suyash. Yes. An effective teacher is generally clear about instructional goals. So now the focus is shifting from the chapter or the content to the goal. पहले हमारा क्या रहता था कि आज हमने क्या पढ़ाना है, लेकिन now in the newer context we are talking about what you want to achieve by the end of the session. And it cannot be defined like that I want to cover this topic. You cannot talk like this. So what is your instructional goal? That you have to specify every time, every day. And that is where, the profile is changing. Effective teachers are generally knowledgeable about curriculum content and strategies. How to teach a particular topic is something that you need to know. I give you an example from my course, which I am teaching now in MBA 3rd semester, that is digital marketing. Now, digital marketing is a newer course and it is changing very fast. When I devised the syllabus for it, it was about 1 year back. And that time when I had gone through the books, read a lot of material, I realized that if I go into a class after reading a book, it will not be sufficient for me. So this lockdown period, I utilized to do courses in digital marketing. What has happened as a result of that? Now, I know about the curriculum, but more than that, I know how to discuss it in the class. That is what is important, that you should devise your strategy that how you are going to cover this particular topic. Example of this is again, for example, we all know that we are human beings and we intend to interact with technology, but a pure technology we are not interested. So there was a topic humanizing the technology, right? I wanted them to work about it. Okay, humanizing. Now, what would I talk about? What would you talk about humanizing the technology? I was just wondering how to go about it. And then I realized that no, I got my hands on a report. It was by, I'm forgetting, IBM. It was a report by IBM and 2020 report. And then I realized after reading the report that it would be very theoretical for a student. So I told them, go to the net, find a company which has gone digital recently and see that how they are trying to create a human experience for a customer. And trust me, what the students have come back with, the kind of examples they are talking, the way they are explaining, my work is done. So it is not only that I had to cover that topic, but it was more important how I have to cover that topic. The strategies. This is more important now. Communicate to your student what is expected of them and why. See, if you tell them that you have to give a presentation on this topic, it is not enough now, right? But you have to tell them that why they have to do this and what should be the learning to them. If you are able to relate these two, it would be easy for you to build a better, experience for your students. Make expert use of existing instructional material, but devote more time to practice that enriches your content, clarifies your content. I just gave you an example of that humanizing the technology kind of thing, right? So the content, I'm going to pass it on to them, the report. But what is more important, that they clarify that the content needs to be clear to them that what is it we are talking about. Is it right? So instructional material is one, but you should be talking more about enriching the content, right? Not many years back, an alumnus comes to me and says that, ma'am, MBA time, आपको भी बोलते होंगे sure कि MBA time बहुत अच्छा था. We had a fun here. And I said, just the fun? He said, no, ma'am, learning was also good here. We always enjoyed your class. So we were just talking about that. And then he told me that, ma'am, do you know that we always appreciated the kind of examples you would use to explain? Because I always worked upon finding a latest example, going to the class, because theory to wahi hai, proper concept wahi hai, but explain karna usko present context mein is important. So this is something where you have to devote time to practices. You should be knowledgeable about your students. You should know what kind of effort is required to handle them in a class. And if any misconception is possible, please ensure that you already are in a position to take care of that. Don't let a doubt be there which is firmly entrenched. It will affect your effectiveness. Teach students metacognitive strategies. Now, what is cognitive? Mental strategies. But metacognitive is cognition to the cognitive. Being aware of the awareness. Being cognitive about the cognition. So make sure that students, they know about it. They should know about what they should know and give them opportunities to master. Give them small projects to learn about what is happening. For example, अगर आप किसी को sales की strategy बताना चाहते हैं, let them go find first hand, collect information first hand, come back, discuss it. They are able to understand, right? So this is something where we are talking. Monitor students' understanding by offering regular, appropriate feedback. Regular, appropriate feedback. Indicate their instructions with that in other areas, other subject areas. Management में एक problem है. हम लोग अगर marketing की class में जाते हैं, we just focus on marketing. We forget finance, we forget accounting, we forget HR, we forget systems. Does it work now? Please ensure that when you are talking, when you are giving an instruction, integrated it with another area. Make it multidimensional. That helps a student build a better understanding. And the last one, if your student is doing good, you are doing good. But if the student is not doing good, अगर उसका outcome level का नहीं है, तो वो responsibility भी आपकी ही है as a teacher. That is something where we need to understand. The next one, please, Suyash. The next one. Yes. So now, what is changing? Everything in teaching is going for a toss. We are now not going into teaching, we are going into learning. Learning-centered teaching. And higher education has the biggest responsibility towards it. Because your audience is more matured, is already aware about too many things. So you don't have to create awareness. You just have to ensure that they are able to learn how to use, how to build, and all that competencies, behaviors, etc., in the changing context. The next one, please. The next one, yeah. So we are going to talk about outcome-based course plan design. This is for you as an effective teacher and effective professional development. These are two aspects of an effective teacher, and you can talk about, we will talk about them one by one. Okay. The next one, Suyash. Now, outcome-based learning may, the first thing which you have to do is to prepare a course diary, a course plan. Now, the course plan should not only talk about, because course plan आपका syllabus हो सकता है ना? लेकिन जो आपका course plan है, that is important because it is a delivery plan. Which particular topic you are going to cover and how? How many sessions? It's a very detailed kind of thing. I'm sure a lot of you people are already doing it, but I'm just trying to, reinforce that. The first day when you go to a class for a new semester, you must build a delivery plan before that and share it with your class the first day. It should be a religion to live with. It helps you also, not only the student. Why? Because it gives a student a plan that how the course will be covered. इसमें learning outcomes बताए रहते हैं, इसमें course कौन सा है, topic क्या है, कितने देर में ये topic cover होगा, और इसका outcome क्या है, what will be the outcome by the end of that particular topic, what will be the learning to the student. That is something which is to be covered in a course delivery plan, right? And therefore, when we talk about this, let's ask to build an active learning process in our classes. Active learning process, right? Now, active learning means that generally हम लोगों को एक problem रहता था पुराने methodology में, that student when he or she would not feel like coming into a class. But in this case, when he does not come to a class for a day, he knows what he has missed out, right? And therefore, the learning process becomes very active. The second one is that student-teacher contact improves. A teacher and student, they can collaborate to have a better class. It's not only that learning or whatever, but we are talking about a better relationship also between a teacher and a student. Students learn to be the team players, right? Teachers help the students to build a characteristic of cooperation, collaboration. It helps you to immediately know where you are faltering, and if you are faltering, where you are faltering, and why you are faltering. Because your objective outcomes if not met, it means somewhere something is wrong. You are more punctual with it. And the next thing is, a student knows what is expected of him, and he also sets expectations for you. So your expectations are communicated, and generally the expectations are set at a higher level. Now that is something which is, going to help you be a better teacher. Because if you meet those higher expectations, you will be able to be categorized as an effective. This particular methodology is actually appreciating diverse talents among the students and also helps us to use more than one ways of learning, right? And therefore, when we say learning centered course plan design, this is something which is, very critical. The next one, what is the basis for this? The next one, Suyash. Bloom's taxonomy. This is the basis, and trust me, 1956 it was developed, and even today it is being used. That shows that this taxonomy is very, very relevant, and it is very wonderful tool in our hands to really use it. This taxonomy is actually talking about our expectations and processes through which we want our students to move to the higher ladder. And this is one way. The other way, it helps us to write our learning outcomes. Writing our learning outcomes is something which is very interesting, right? How you write, how you use, that is something, if you go and search this Bloom's taxonomy, you would find it very interesting. And outcome-based learning objectives are generally based on Bloom's taxonomy. The next one, Suyash. These are the 6 levels. They are arranged in a hierarchy, and they tell us that how we move our student to the top level. The first one is knowledge. So we want to create knowledge for our student. आप उसको knowledge देते हैं. His comprehension should improve because of the knowledge, right? He should उसकी understanding improve होनी चाहिए. But then this understanding should translate into his capacity to apply that knowledge. And application of knowledge then should give him the capacity to analyze that whether what he has done is right or not. And this analysis should actually help him construct different, synthesize, and finally evaluate that what he did. Now, these are levels. You cannot expect a student in the first semester to be at level 4, 5, 6. तो हम gradually move करते हैं. पहले semester में knowledge, थोड़ा सा comprehension, but application, no, not there. In second semester, since knowledge is there, comprehension, we move it to application, we move it to analysis a bit. And by fourth semester, we want that a student should synthesize, a student should evaluate. And now, if I relate it to the new education policy, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay. By the fourth semester, the student should be able to create something. For example, you give him or her a case study and tell him to evaluate it, and you put him in a role play and he creates or synthesizes something. So these are the examples which we do generally in our class, but we do not know how to use them or how to fit them into a particular hierarchy and get better results out of it. The next one. The next one, please. These are the 5 characteristics that your outcome should have. They should be specific. You cannot have a vague, a vague outcome. That, for example, I cannot say that the student by the end of this particular course or by the end of this particular chapter or unit should be able to interpret. There is nothing, interpretations individual hai. Hum ye vague hai. We need to specify that by the end of this, the student shall have a thorough understanding of XYZ, whatever your subject. Is it right? So be more specific. Measure it. How will you measure the understanding which you believe is developing as a result of objective 1? Measurable. How will you measure it? For example, you will conduct a quiz to see कि क्या वो between the lines read कर रहा है और कितनी उसकी understanding है. So measurable, actionable. He should be able to put it into use somehow. So what will you do? You will give him a project and he will be asked to use those concepts and come out with the result relevant. वो आपकी subject से related होना चाहिए. And there has to be some time limit. You cannot believe it to be there and, so this is something which is, so these 5 specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, timed, these are critical components. So next, let's go to the next one. Steps to writing learning outcomes, right? Identify the major topics of your course, right? Identify what are those topics which are very critical and a student needs to know them, in a greater detail. So identify the major topics. Classify the outcomes. Focus on students' behavior. For example, you cannot say an outcome like that this course shall be covered in 40 to 45 lectures. मैं आपको एक अपनी personal example बता रही हूँ that we used to write this earlier, that this course shall be covered in 40 to 45 lectures. Focus was on whom? The teacher. The student was not being bothered. Now you cannot classify the outcome as 40 to 45 lectures the course will be covered. No, you cannot say it. Focus on your students' behavior, right? Identify the learning required, that which outcome shall be covered. For example, there are 7 outcomes and which outcome will be covered by this particular topic. You need to identify that. The next one, please. Next one. Yes. Now, choose a specific action verb for each outcome. This is something which is very, very important. For example, action verb है discuss, action verb है identify, action verb है evaluate. लेकिन वो आपको पता रहना चाहिए कि वो किस आउटकम के आगे लगेगा. अगर आप ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी पे वापस जाते हैं, है ना, इफ यू गो टू द ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी, तो इवैल्यूएट नॉलेज पे नहीं आ सकता है. आप नॉलेज को इवैल्यूएट नहीं कर सकते लेवल 1 पे. तो प्रोबेबली देयर कॉम्प्रीहेंड, आइडेंटिफाई, अंडरस्टैंड, है ना, ऐसे वाले एक्शन वर्ब. सो यू हैव टू नो which action verb you will choose for each outcome. Decide how will you measure the achievement of that outcome. We discussed that before, right? And identify that what will be the success criteria for each outcome. For example, इसको हम कैसे करते हैं? जैसे आप किसी बच्चे को 15 में से 10 नंबर दे रहे हैं और किसी बच्चे को आप 15 में से 12 दे रहे हैं. तो आपने 10 नंबर क्यों दिए, आपको वो स्पेसिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि आपके बच्चे ने ये लिखा है इसलिए इसके 10 नंबर हैं, और ये लिखा है इसलिए इसके 12 नंबर हैं, और कहीं पे कोई बच्चे ने नहीं लिखा तो उसका 0 है. You can do that, but the success criteria you have to specify that needs to be specified. Somebody is writing that in that case, ma'am, the lesson plan that we make cannot be followed strictly. The lesson plan needs to be made in a different manner now. Ma'am, the traditional way you have been putting it, it is not the way we are supposed to follow. So this is something where, you know, the success criteria you need to identify, and that is where we will go to the next slide. You will see what I'm trying to tell you. The next slide, please. So I am giving you some learning outcomes of sales management. Actually, slide. For example, you want your student to understand that what is the difference between sales and marketing. तो ये आपका एक आउटकम बन सकता है that a student differentiate is the action verb, that he should be able to differentiate that this is sales and this is marketing, and not only this but a strategy also. तो ये पहला आउटकम है. The second one is appraise the force impacting selling and sales management. So what is that factor that is impacting sales और सेलिंग मैनेजमेंट? तो आपको वो फोर्सेस को आइडेंटिफाई करना है, अप्रेज करना है कि वो कितने फैक्टर्स हैं और वो कैसे इंपैक्ट कर रहे हैं. एंड द थर्ड वन इज critically evaluate modern sales management, selling and sales management. So how the change has taken place, the student should be able to evaluate that. So critically evaluate, demonstrate selling skills and abilities, and propose solutions to complex sales. Yes, if you see, we are moving from base 1 to base 5, 6. It's a hierarchical use, right? पहले हम डिफरेंशिएट करवा रहे हैं, फिर हम उसको एक उसकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग को वाइडर कर रहे हैं, फिर वो इवैल्यूएट कर रहे हैं, फिर वो डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट कर रहे हैं, और फिर वो क्रिएट कर रहे हैं सॉल्यूशन देने के. So this is something where this is how we go about. And I hope Dr. Purbi Goswami, when she was saying that a lesson plan we make, ma'am, this is what I was talking about, that the lesson plan has to change now. We cannot have a lesson plan which we earlier used to have. Is it right? Can I go to the next slide, please? And now, if there are so many changes that are taking place in your process, what is professional development? Teachers कहते हैं कि हमें एक बार हमने पढ़ लिया, वो हमें हमेशा के लिए याद हो गया, है ना? लेकिन इतना कुछ चेंज हो रहा है, आपकी बुक्स के एडिशन से हर साल में, एक साल में 2 भी आ जाते हैं. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि कहीं पे हमारी प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट की स्टैग्नेट तो नहीं हो रहा. वी नीड टू रियलाइज दैट, and therefore there is a need to learn for further education and work in this 21st century. I give you an example that I was to teach digital marketing course, and I did courses myself to be competent enough to go and handle a class. For example, अगर मैंने कोर्स नहीं किया था, I could not very clearly explain to my class after reading a book that how the consumer behavior will change, और हम कैसे बेसिक छोटे छोटे वर्ड जैसे click to pay, affiliate marketing, these were terms which I knew conceptually, but I was not able to interpret. Now I am better able to talk about these. So this is what is required. We need to develop ourselves continually, and therefore that is how we will have sophisticated form of teaching and develop students, you know, competencies, or their professional development is directly a function of my professional capacity. Therefore, professional development is needed to learn, to refine, and to improve upon the technologies or the pedagogies which we have been using to teach the skills. Trust me, I never believed in making notes. मैंने कभी अपनी क्लास में notes नहीं बनाए. And the reason why I was, because there was one teacher from whom I have studied in college. Whenever that teacher would come with no bad feeling towards that particular teacher, but he would come with notes, and those notes would be like the yellow sheets. The yellow sheets. वो कब के बने notes थे, ना वो upgrade किए ना कुछ. और I used to always feel कि my God. और हम उनके बारे में बात करते थे कि ये तो yellow pages हैं. This is a yellow page directory of sir. ये तो, और सबको बोलना कि सर दे दीजिए. He would never give us those. Because then everybody would laugh कि अरे ये सर दे देंगे तो अगली क्लास को क्या पढ़ाएंगे. So let it be. It was a learning for me. I never used that pedagogy of making notes and going into a class. So you learn, you refine, you improve, and that is what is required. Can we go to the next one? It's a structured professional learning that leads to better teaching practices and improved student learning outcomes. So if I say that what is the need for an effective professional development, these are three reasons why we should continually develop ourselves. First, that it would improve my learning, it would improve my practice, and it would certainly help me in improving my students' learning outcomes. Dr. Basavraj, yes, notes are made for oneself, but trust me, when I make a note, I many times get restricted to those notes only, because this is what I have been, matlab, at once or twice when I've gone with the note, I had seen that I would generally, limit myself to that. And when you take out that yellow sheet in front of your class, that gives a perception to a student that, oh, ये तो पता नहीं कब के बने हुए हैं, ये तो outdated notes, right? So let's go to the next one. Well, if you believe in that and if you are upgrading your notes every time, there is nothing like that. I mean, it's a big support. Next one, yes. I'm quickly going to talk about some of the features so that we know what is effective professional development. Is content focused, right? So generally you should know that focus, that content is there and you have to focus on it. Second one is it incorporates active learning. When you are reading a newer material for your subject, then probably it helps us to incorporate active learning. And teachers generally, they are able to devise better strategies, and that creates a positive or a more learning oriented environment. You will be getting this presentation later on. Ladies and gentlemen, don't bother. You will get this presentation. Right? The next one, please. Supports collaboration. Right? So high quality professional development creates space for teachers to share their ideas and collaborate with their learning. And many times we have seen that teachers, when they collaborate, it brings about a positive change in the culture. I would say MOOCs is a wonderful phenomenon in that place, right? A collaboration in a rare sense is coming up, or e-Pathshala was there. A great idea. People from so many universities work together and develop some very, very wonderful material for students. And, it helps. It it's not only within among universities, it's within the departments also. So it helps you to perform better. Provides coaching and expert support. Somebody is a better one, right? So if you are professionally developed, you can help others to grow, help others to learn, and your practices they get adopted in a larger scenario. So that is something which is more positive and helps to create a better environment within the universities or colleges. Um, it is something which is very positive because otherwise within the universities and colleges a lot of ego issues are there. They can be taken care of very effectively if you are professionally competent. You really need not bother about the smaller things here and there, so they help. The next one, please. The next slide. The next one. Yes, it offers you feedback. Trust me, when I did that course on digital marketing, before that, I was very, I would say, I was very susceptible. I was very vulnerable. I was feeling very unprepared for my classes. But after that, I feel that yes, I'm okay. If anybody comes and says anything to me, I'm able to take on a query, an input, and it's easy for me to make adjustments into my teaching practices, right? So feedback and reflections, they both help the move forward, right? And the last one is of sustained duration. Professional development helps you to learn, practice, implement, and ensure that it is a very smooth progression. It is not a very abrupt or a very sudden change, but it is a very soft one. It helps you to improve, to grow, to learn, and therefore it is considered to be a very important one. Right? I think we are going to be. It's going to be almost 11:10. The next slide, I'm going to give you something about teacher's self-assessment guide. The next slide, please. And there is a small exercise you all will do, and we will discuss it one by one. And then this is a framework which I am giving you. It is a self-assessment guide. You cannot use this on anybody else, but you can use it on yourself. It will help you to build a course plan also, and it will tell you what are the dimensions on which you need to work. The scale which you have to use is a 1 to 4 rating scale, right? And this particular framework will help you to reflect on your practice. This will give you an evidence that what you are doing and how you need to change and probably improve your implementation of the sessions or the teaching plans. The next one, please. The next slide. Yes. Are you seeing the blue and the yellow parts? Are you seeing the blue and yellow parts? Yes. The blue one is the
Yes, ma'am.
basic. The yellow ones are the side factors that affect your basic. आपका basic है, you have to prepare your student for new learning. You have to deepen his learning. You have to present your information in such a manner that student learns something new from you. He has to apply learning, and you help the student to look back on his learning, that what he learned, and refine his process. The yellow parts, they talk about what support do you need to get to do the blue part implementation. For example, your organization's rules and procedures, your positive relationships, a thinking culture, a learning culture, and how do you motivate your student to engage with you or inspire him to learn? So हम इसको discuss करेंगे the next slide, and I would request Suyash to please run that PDF now. Please run that PDF. you have seen the this is the scale which you are developing and we are talking about. See, हमने जो पहले डिस्कस किया हम उसको अब कर रहे हैं. प्लीज इसको नीचे वाले को कवर कर दीजिए सुयश, इसका साइज बड़ा कर दीजिए, वो हम बाद में डिस्कस करेंगे. That's right. Yeah, you see this is first dimension, dimension 1, organization, rules and regulation procedures. These are 4 scales: novice, developing, proficient and expert. And if you think it is not applicable to you, you can go to any. लेकिन इसकी कोई रेटिंग नहीं है. आप इसको पढ़ते जाइए और अपने पे 1.1 करके इसको इसका जो भी लिखेंगे आप उसका स्केल पे लिखते जाइए. And please do it fast. We have just 5-7 minutes more.
Madam, where we have to do this manually?
Yes. You can do it on your copy.
Okay.
आपके पास कोई notebook होगा ना, please उस पे कर दीजिए. Why I am telling you to do it is something which is very interesting. Maybe we will handle only 2 variables and then you can
Right.
we'll share it with you, right? I just want you to understand what I am talking about. Okay, I'm reading it. How would you rate yourself at? First factor is organizing classroom space. For example, seating, resources, technology, decoration to ensure safety, maximize learning and meet your overall goals and objectives. Are you doing it? So you can click on anyone. आप 1, 2, 3, 4 में 8 number लिख लीजिए, जो भी आपका है. The second one is keeping the flow of activities in the classroom moving smoothly. आप अपने लेक्चर को कितना स्मूथली कवर करते हो. Next one is about that. Do you have any rules and procedures to manage your class and communicate with the students, and they should be aware about it, that what are the rules and how? For example, do you post कि कल क्लास का टेस्ट होगा, पहले 5 बच्चों का है, पहले 10 का? Explain the rationale behind. Okay, so see, we do all these 7 things, right? Suyash, can we move down now? Can we move down? Yes. Now, what is the outcome of this? If you look at this, we are saying that these are the student behaviors that should be visible to you. For example, they show respect for each other and the class. Right? Have access to necessary supplies and resources. Understand classroom rules and procedures and follow them. Make good use of their time. Know what to do. Take responsibility for their own learning. Have a positive attitude. Use conflict resolution techniques when there is a disagreement. ये behaviors आपको आपकी क्लास में दिखेंगे, सब नहीं दिखेंगे, लेकिन in general, if we are talking about the whole class, you will see that students depict these kind of behaviors. Is it right? Don't you think that this helps you to have your class much more organized, much more well managed? And when your class is organized and managed, it means learning is better. Okay, we can go to the next. इसके next वाले पे चलो जरा. So yes, next one पे. See, I am giving you, you can build this. For example, what are the evidences which you see in your class? You can write them here. Ideas for improving. अगर आपको लगता है कि ये वाला इतना अच्छा नहीं है, इसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? Ideas for improving planning. Ideas for improving implementation. For example, yes, I have rules, but I communicate them only, then only in the class. So probably I should do it a day before. That would help me. So ये आपके लिए है कि आप इसको कैसे वर्कआउट कर सकते हैं. Can we go to the next one, Yash? Next page पे चलिए. Yes. See, this is how the इसके नीचे चलिए, because now I hope you all have understood it. Right. So the second dimension leads to these impacts: are respectful to each other and the teacher, collaborate with each other, participate in whole class and small group discussions, feel that we are all in this together, display empathy, share their feelings, resolve conflict, and they all have a voice. This is so important. क्लास में कुछ बच्चे पीछे छूट जाते हैं और कुछ बच्चे जो हैं वो बहुत एग्रेसिवली आगे आ जाते हैं. तो जो पीछे रह गए बच्चे हैं उनको आगे लाने का इससे बेटर कोई तरीका नहीं. Is it right? Similarly, the next page depicts that what evidence of your commitment, ideas for improving, ideas for implementation. So this way we go to all. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so this is the third one, wherein again we are talking about the third dimension, that is the second was positive relations. The third one is, what is the third dimension here? Engagement and enjoyment. Engagement and enjoyment, right? So again, these are the indicators, and trust me, when you go to see the students' impact, आगे चलिए. Yes, the students are energetic to attend your class. They are enthusiastic about your class. They display an effort in your class. They enjoy themselves in the class. They express their interest, ideas, insight about the topic. They are all doing the job they are being given, and they are motivated. And they stretch their minds to learn, to understand. Do you think that if this all is happening, you really need not, uh, you really need not, nobody should actually raise a question mark on your competence. Excuse me. Hello? Anji? आप घर पे चले जाइए, मैं फोन कर दूंगी. ठीक है, ठीक है. Okay. Okay, so this is how we go about doing all. That इसका भी वैसे ही आप इसको जज कर सकते हैं, इवैल्यूएट कर सकते हैं. और सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग बात क्या है, आप इसको हर क्लास के साथ कर सकते हैं. कि पहले दिन क्लास में गए, डिलीवरी प्लान दिया और इसको इम्प्लीमेंट किया, और हर क्लास के साथ ये चेंजेस आएंगे. Yes, you will get this sheet. All of you will get these sheets. Please, you can do it. Right? And this is how we are going about it. Right? So this is, I'm not sharing the other ones because we will otherwise be not able to complete. But अगर आप इसको पूरे को run, you will get this PDF, everyone. So you will see that for each one we have student learning outcomes, and this is something which is very, very informative, very, very effective, and helps us to strategize each component, not only one, but each component of it is there. So Yash, can you run it all so that they all understand what they are seeing? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Next. Yeah. Hello. Hello, Neetu. Neetu. Hello. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any queries now, you can raise, please.
Dear all participants, you can ask your questions if you have any. Put your questions in the chat. We will be sharing the PDF very soon.
आपने जो ये मेरा प्रश्न है,
Yes, sir.
आपने जो जिंदगी बदल रहे हैं सिस्टम, क्या इसको आप पूरी तरीके से इम्प्लीमेंट कर पा रहे हैं?
सर आप फर्स्ट ईयर में तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, लेकिन अगर आप इसको कंटिन्यूअली करेंगे यू विल बी एबल टू इम्प्लीमेंट इट. से इट विल टेक यू 2 सेशंस, बट एंड इट इज कंटिन्यूअली इम्प्रूविंग. आप एक बार करके वैसा नहीं है कि आपने पूरा आज कर दिया और उसके बाद में जरूरत नहीं है दोबारा से. इट विल गो ऑन बीइंग देयर. यू विल हैव टू डू इट कंटिन्यूअली.
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू मैम.
हेलो. हाँ जी भैया, जी भैया, जी भैया, जी भैया. Yes, any other question, please? Either the session was too good or the session was too bad, because questions ना
Very-
होने का मतलब यही है.
Madam, wonderful session. It was very, very informative and very useful. And you have cleared all the all the things. We would like to allow to hear you in more, but because of the time constraint. Anyhow, thank you very much, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. It actually, it is very important for all the teachers to share their learnings. So it is something which I have been doing for past 1.5 years. And it's really very encouraging to hear good words from you all. That makes me work harder in this direction.
Such a beautiful, wonderful platform has been created, and we are able to listen to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Are there any questions posted in chat? Please check. Aman sir.
There is no question in that. यार कोई फोन ही नहीं उठा रहा बाहर में, वो बाहर गंदा पड़ा हूँ. उनको बोल 1,000 रुपीस लेके जाओ. I will come in the.
So
Yes, sir. Sorry. Yes, sir.
Shwetlana Mishra, I think she has a question.
Yeah.
Miss Shwetlana Mishra, you can ask your question, please.
हेलो मैम वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग
Good
मैम थोड़ा
morning,
तेज
sir.
बोलिए, श्वेतलाना जी थोड़ा तेज बोलिए, ऊंचा बोलिए थोड़ा.
यस सर एम आई ऑडिबल सर
Yes, yes, ma'am, you are.
yes my question is that when we are talking about student centric and outcome based learning for students, what about teachers contribution to develop the teaching style? How much time a teacher should get to develop all this? Because all these days in private institutes, teachers are not provided a good amount of time to prepare themselves, to prepare for a good quality teaching methodology to adopt. So what about that?
Ma'am, well, that is there. It is being raised time and again, and you need time. It is very true that if you are looking at developing a better course or developing a better content or using a new pedagogy, you need training, you need time, and you need both together. Private institutes, yes, that is there, but teachers really need to work on it. Ma'am, even in public sector also, timing is a factor, and we are also not getting a lot of time to do all this. But you are experts. You have to learn to manage. हम लोग मैनेजमेंट सिखाते हैं मैम, और हमें खुद नहीं आएगी तो हम बाकियों को कैसे सिखाएंगे? So we have to learn.
Much.
क्योंकि मैम ऐसा है कि टाइमिंग expectations are too high. Every organization is having very high expectations from teachers. If you are looking at private sector, that is fine. But even public sector also, things are not that easy. We are under a lot of stress for doing administrative, academic, research activities, and it is very difficult for us also to go out and balance. But this is the need of the hour, ma'am, and we have to do it. We really can't say that we get a lot of time and we have to manage. This is probably the first time for the lockdown that majority of you people have been sitting home. Otherwise, we have never been allowed to sit home. I don't remember for the last 28 years being home.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Wonderful
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think, Pankaj sir, people don't have any queries.
They have one more question is there in the chat box. Last question. You can take the last question. This is the last.
What to do for fulfilling bridging the gap interaction with industry after first? It's again stereotype in this. What can we do for more interaction? Sir, I did not get the question exactly. What do you want? Because industry academia interface is something which is being highly talked about in the new education policy. And if industry cannot come to you, you have to go to industry. We are located in a place where there is very less industry or no industry. So now this online thing has really been a blessing in disguise to us. We have been doing a lot of activity, sitting at our places and doing online works and interacting. So this is something which is a best example. अगर पंकज सर को ये सेशन ऑर्गेनाइज करना पड़ता, I think it would have costed him at least 3 times what he's going to spend now. So things can be worked out. You cannot get an industry to you. You can go to the industry. See how you can. उसको अपने course में embed कीजिए industry के interaction को. That would help. We have done it and we are getting good results out of it.
Jitendra ji, you want to ask anything more? Thank you, Alka ma'am. I think that the questions are exhausted, and thank you so much for your wonderful deliberation.
Sir, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting all the participants. Although I just have been seeing their names and the black screens, But thank you very much for the opportunity. And it was indeed a pleasure for me also to be here with you all. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Most welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We'll meet again at 11:45 for the next session. Thank you, everyone.
Dear all, we will now take a short break for 10 minutes. We will now again join the session at 11:45 a.m. Thank you all.